One of the biggest global diplomatic events is coming to town, the G20 summit. This year, India is leading the presidency of the G20 or the Group of 20. So New Delhi is gearing up for some serious diplomacy. Leading the charge is India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant. But who exactly is a Sherpa? What role do they play in the negotiations? Also, why are they called a Sherpa? Our next report tells you all about a Sherpa's role in G20.
Sherpa. You may have heard this word a lot when it comes to mountaineering. The word Sherpa refers to guides in the Himalayas, people who help you reach the summit. So that's what a Sherpa does. And the G20 Summit Sherpa is no different. Sherpas are the personal envoys of the head of state or the government of G20 nations. Basically, the point person for a G20 leader. They're usually high-ranking government officials. They represent the G20 member nation and, most importantly, the interests of the nation. Just like the Sherpa on the mountains, they do the heavy lifting for the leader to reach the peak.
So my role is really to assist my leader, the Prime Minister. I act as his envoy to take him up right on top of the peak of the summit.
Throughout the summit, Sherpas plan. They negotiate, coordinate the agenda, seek consensus at the highest levels, implement tasks, and help negotiate the position of their leaders. Usually, there's one Sherpa for each member nation for each summit. He or she are assisted by others called sous-Sherpas. Which brings us to the Sherpa track. It's basically a preparation to the main G20 summit. It involves extensive meetings and negotiations. The main focus is the final text of the G20 Leaders' Declaration, a key outcome of the Leaders' Summit. The Sherpa track is a crucial part of the G20 process. It involves negotiations, behind-the-scenes action, and a lot of diplomatic maneuvering. Usually, Sherpas take part in multiple meetings throughout the year. This gives them time to formulate policies and consensus. Under India's presidency, there are 13 working groups and 4 initiatives. India's focus is on developing nations, aka the Global South. Through this presidency, India wants to champion the voice of the Global South, raising issues like climate financing, technological transformation, and digital public infrastructure. So, this September, as world leaders descend on India, the limelight may be on them, but it'll be the Sherpas who will be doing the heavy lifting behind the scenes.